I wanted to have more of a role in the athlete's life as far as management goes, marketing, just connecting people, being strategic, and also at the same time kind of playing the behind the scenes role.
Okay.
So I've done a lot in the marketing space with a lot of athletes since 2016, since I've gotten that law degree. And then I also done some player contracts, and I've worked with a wide array of athletes, but there's a few that I just kind of just like to focus on because they're more of I take them as a mentor. I'm a mentor to them.
So is it kind of like manager agent?
Yeah, manager agent. Yep.
Very cool. I didn't know that, by the way. So this
absolutely,
is new.
Absolutely. And I feel as if it's a lifetime thing, not something where I just come in as their agent and it's over. Like, no, I'm thinking career pathways. I'm thinking other options outside of sports. I like the long shots. I like guys who feel as if they have the athletic ability, they have the mental capability, not just to be great in the sport, but also be great in life.
Love that.
So it's like an agent to the life.
Like a life coach / financial, like a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. So doing this role has been really rewarding because I get an opportunity to get guys into internships. I get an opportunity to get guys onto teams. I get an opportunity to get guys who maybe wanted to start a business, help them start with stage 1 to stage 5 of how to develop and grow their businesses, grow their brands, connect a lot of people where they get opportunities to just meet people who are there inspired by, the Manning Sumners maybe, they might want to meet and you're an athlete in business. So that's kind of like been my focus. I just wanted to play that role where it's not just an agent, but I can actually help you in different spectrums of your life.
And what, give us a little, because you said athlete business, which I love. And I think a lot of athletes are starting to find their way in business, which I think we make great business people because
absolutely.
The discipline, we're team oriented. I mean, one of the things that I've always taken from my team experience is how to be a leader, how to be a coach, right?
Right.
So give us a little bit background on like what sports you played and like where that came from, that side of it.
Yeah, so that the sports is something that the reason why I made myself Tony Thomas Sports, put sports, I say sports is my last name. So I love sports from day one, from soccer being the first sport I ever played.
Okay.
Basketball being the first sport I ever fell in love with. Football being the sport where I don't feel as if I liked it in the beginning, but my coaches kind of directed me into that pathway, right. And then I learned to love it,
Okay.
So sports has been one of those things where even if it was something I didn't want to do, I ended up just gravitating towards it and liking it. So now I'm...
Well, you're a physical specimen, my man. So it's kind of like I love what you just said. Yeah. Like football, you didn't really, but the coaches, I guarantee those coaches like, you're playing football.
That's exactly what it was. And then I learned to love it. I found a position that I fell in love with.
What position did you play?
Wide receiver.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So with that being said, all those things kind of anchored my mentality on the world of sports and finding an impact to just, foster energy that actually allows someone to be better in their sport, even work around the sport or do something outside where you can use some of the mentality that you've gotten from playing a sport to lifestyle,
right.
to your career pathway. So those are just some of the different things that sports has helped me get to this level.
Was there a transition because I know I have a specific, like a point in my life where it was like, okay, you're not what's the word I'm looking for? You're not a participating athlete. Mm-hmm. Now you're transitioning to coaching athletes and helping athletes. When was that moment for you where you're like, all right, I'm not a participator. Now I have to help others. You understand
Absolutely.
What I'm saying? Like that's what...
I'll tell you exactly what happened.
All right, tell me.
So summertime came out.
What year is this?
Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna say years, but you guys are gonna get the concept. It was back in the college days. So
okay, all right.
Fresh out of college.
Yeah.
Came to Florida, and I was working with University of Miami, and I was playing in every basketball league possible.
Okay.
And it was at that point I was like, man, I'm playing in all these basketball leagues, and I'm not getting a check. But everybody wanted me to play on their team, and I was like, man, I'm really utilizing a lot of my time and energy to play in all these leagues when I could be putting it towards making some money.
Right.
Now I was still thinking about playing overseas at the time, but I also was very into much the performance space, and I was learning, and I wanted to kind of apply it at some point.
Were you training at that time or just playing?
I was just
basketball?
playing. I was just playing because fresh out of school, you still have that drive to kind of like just keep playing. So it was like, that first year was just very hard to pull myself away from playing. And I think every athlete needs that transition when you get to that point when you know you're not going to the next level, that you kind of just air it out, whether it's you're playing in a pickup league, whether you're playing flag football, whatever you're doing, just do it until you can finally say, okay, all right, this is it. This is where it stops. So for me, it stopped there. I wasn't really keen on some of the teams that wanted me to play overseas. So I was like, all right, I'm going to play in a few more leagues, but I got to figure out what I'm going to do about money. All right, because money was getting lower, but I was getting in great shape from just playing in all these leagues. So it was at that point where I just started segueing and started working with athletes. I worked with a few athletes that I knew personally. I worked with Carlos Boozer and a few guys at, Rip Hamilton and Lou Aldeng, and guys that I knew that were in the basketball spectrum that would pay for my services as a performance coach, but at the same time allow me to have time in my space to kind of like make sure that I start applying the business side to my brand too as well. And so they did, man. They were really flexible, and it was enjoyable because I actually really got to learn a lot from just staging, how to set up the program, how to charge for the program, how to keep it within reason, how to do it for a period of time, right? So they were here for a certain period of time. So it really helped me with structuring at that point. So I was still playing in the leagues, but I was making a little money. Okay. I was making a little money. And it's at that point when I was like, this is actually fun. I love actually putting together these programs. I love actually still doing sports-specific drills, things that I could eventually learn to master, right? But I was in that learning phase. And now being in a mastery phase is like, man, you never, ever become fully a master. It's like you're always learning. So and just imagine the flower just budding and starting to really hone into it. And then on top of that, taking care of myself, I became my own walking billboard. So
literally.
Yeah.
You still are.
So exactly. So that ended up being a big pivotal period of time for me where I was like, I can be my own star in this space, and I can take this to a whole nother level if I really, really wanted to. So that's when I started piecing it all together, putting the actual business name to it, tagging Tony Thomas Sports, putting the logo to it, start building businesses.
You were one of the first ones too that wrapped your car.
Yes.
Literally one. I'll never forget it. Like you're one of the first people. I was like, oh, there it goes. Oh, there it goes.
I was into it. I was into branding a lot, and I was following a lot of YouTubers who told me like different strategies on how to get your brand out there and how to not lose, because you're your own person. And what people tend to forget is that there's so much competition, right? Everybody's saying, if you do what you're going to do, there's going to be no other. They can try to mimic, but as long as you are responsible for yourself and responsible for your growth, there is no way to judge you against another person, because you're in your own race and your brand is your own race and you're in your own journey. So it's going to be different no matter how much times you try to cut it up, no matter what, just like a fingerprint, it's going to be different. So I really honed into that, and I said,
I just posted that, by the way. So just to touch on that, because that's a mic drop moment right there.
Okay.
Is you don't need to focus on being the best. You need to focus on being different.
Facts.
And so I love what you just said right now, because when you're different, there is no competition. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for your people, your tribe. Like, especially we've noticed, like, Miami is literally the top fitness city in the world. Facts. Like right now, me and you could walk to 50 something gyms, yoga studios, whatever. And then here's a guy that says, screw all that. I want to do something that outside of the gym and make it my own. Right. And you're still successful against all of that. And it just goes to show you that when you do something great, when you do something with the intentionality that you did, there is no competition.
Absolutely.
Like, you're owning what you built. And you're not competing with me. You're not competing. That's why I really loved our journey, is because it's always felt like we didn't look at each other as competitors.
Never.
Like I never saw you as like, ever. And I know the outside world probably is like, what is he saying? That's crazy. Of course y'all are competitors.
I love that he said that right there, because remember back in the day, and listen, I don't play with years. Let's just say that it was a long time ago.
Are you trying to stay?
I never say years.
Are you trying to hide your age? Is that what it is?
It's not because I try to hide my age. It's like I like the mystery. People always ask me. They always ask me, and it's actually kind of cool, because in one state you can see when they, if they respond a certain way, you can say, oh wow, they're shooting way low. And sometimes they'll shoot high too, because of your accolades or how far you've come. So I love and appreciate both sides of it. That's why I never say that.
I like it.
But back in the day, and they can probably Google and find it on there. I interviewed you at your first location, and it was still relatively new. And
it was really new.
It was really new, and I do my own thing. I work in the same space, and I actually just wanted people to come and see your actual location and see what you've built, because I was just in awe when you brought me through, and I was like, man, people need to see this. And this was before things were really popping on this side of town. This was before things were popping on this side of town. I'm like, guys, you need to come and check this man out.
We still had hookers and homeless people sleeping outside the gym. So literally.
So that video is still to this day one of my favorite videos. And my nephew at the time, who's grown now, it's funny, but he had a good laugh at that day, because he helped me out throughout that day, like with filming and everything like that. And then I remember when I got into the car and I was with him, I was like, bro, my legs are about to be burning tomorrow. And I was like,
did we work out? Did I put you through a workout?
You put me through a workout.
Right. I was go back and watch this. And
I remember
we're dropping this in the
and we were I'm trying to interview and talk, and I'm like, so make sure you come down. So like,
and back then I used to try to kill people. Literally.
It was quite the experience. And then I think we followed it up with a few NFL guys that you were working with. We came back, and you could even see the improvement from the first time I came to the second time I came, and then now it's just like continuously growing. But like, it's funny because people would be like, nah, I'm not gonna go over there and film another coach doing it. I'm doing my own thing, you know what I mean? And it was just like, we never ever had that. It was just like, oh, what you got going on? All right, let me come and check you out. You know what I mean? So,
and I've been, and I hope you know this. Like, I've always been a fan, behind the scenes, like, wanting and wishing you the best always. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I feel like there was a period of time in Miami, and I feel like it's shifting a little bit. I might be wrong, but there was this cutthroat mentality. Like, if you trained here, you weren't allowed to train here. And if you train with this guy, you're not allowed to. And I think we got to get away from that. And my humble opinion is like it's not a competition when it comes to fitness, because fitness is serving people and fitness is needed, right? Yeah. Like, it's something that it's as needed as food.
Facts.
It really is. Like, we're living in a time that we're talking about 85% of the world is metabolically damaged, is obese, we're getting sicker and kids are being fatter and all this stuff. Like, this is a calling. This is a purpose. And how can you hate on another man or feel like another man that's doing similar, may not be doing it exactly how you're doing it, but we all are doing a similar thing. And that's why I always say, like, I try to get my staff and myself from getting away from saying, like, we're the best. We might be a leader in group fitness. We might be a leader in the gym game, but we're never really the best. There's no such thing as best.